If I say anything tonight, anybody got a fucking problem with? You got one motherfucking option what you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Because if you think you're gonna walk up on this stage, this ain't the motherfucking Oscars. And if you walk your ass up here, you ain't nominated for shit but these motherfucking hands. Oh, we on Pac the rest of the year, nigga. Every time you see me do a show, Pac. I ain't want to start the show like that. You gonna hit my motherfucking brother? Cause your bitch gave you a side eye? Oh, it's a lot of rock brothers. Y'all ain't know it's a lot of rock brothers. It's 10 of us, motherfucker. You about to see all the rock brothers. You gonna be like, I didn't even know that nigga was a rock brother. That nigga a rock brother? That's a rock brother? I ain't gonna start the show like that, but I just wanna let y'all know that shit ain't gonna ride. That shit ain't gonna ride, nigga. I don't got a lot of shit to lose, nigga. Some more gonna have me on the tour regardless. Y'all might never see me on TV again, but... Now with that said, Riley, how y'all doing?
Yo. Ooh, sounds like Tony Rock is not playing about his brother.
No, he's not.
Oh, man.
No, he's
we
not.
got a lot to talk about this week, man. Thanks, everybody, for coming back this week with the MulTYverse. I'm Bad Top Bricks here with Holly Noon, the queen.
Hey.
Listen,
yes.
we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the aftermath, what's going on with Will after the Oscars. We're going to talk about the Morbius movie. We're going to talk about that. Was it good? Was it bad? I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we'll also talk about Monique.
Yeah.
Finally getting what she deserved. But before we do that, you guys already know what it is, man. We got to pay the bills, and we got a little surprise for y'all. So check us out.
What do you know about the MulTYverse?
Yo, look at us.
I like it. I like it. Okay.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. But listen, man, like I said, there's been a lot going on. I want to hear a couple of more words because I got this video and I want to hear a couple more words from just some of the comedians and actors and kind of just hear some of the things that they had to say in regards to the Oscars. Now, what, almost a week later, you know, since the slap heard round world. So let's jump into that. Let's see what else we got.
I want to warn you all that our next presenter is a comedian, if you know what I mean. So I need to caution everybody, remain in your seats and keep your hands to yourself. All right?
You know, what do you kind of make of this whole conversation?
I just think it's a big it was a big moment. I think Chris handled himself really well and was a consummate professional. And I think a lot of people really felt his pain, and Will Smith probably is in a lot of pain too. He didn't behave well and that's embarrassing. And but I like the way that Chris handled the whole situation, and I like the fact that he hasn't said anything about it yet. I respect him, and I always have, and as does Joe. And I think any comic knows what a great guy Chris is, and he definitely didn't deserve that.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. The devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite.
right.
Don't you bother him.
Yeah.
Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right. And for whatever reason, the devil got a hold of me, that circumstance, that night. And fortunately, there were people there, not just me, but others in the Gap. Tyler Perry came immediately right over there with me, and some prayers, keep it. I don't want to say what we talked about, but there, but for the grace of God, go any of us. Yeah. Who are we to condemn? I don't know all the ins and outs of the situation, but I know the only solution was prayer.
Simping is dangerous. Look at what he just did to Will Smith. One of the biggest nights of his life ruined. He will never be the same. You can't live this down. And then the fact that you didn't even have the balls enough to apologize to Chris Rock then. You waited almost 24 hours. You and I both know Chris Rock could have done many a things. As Will Smith was walking off, he could have just said, damn, I'll feel that smack until August. Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth. Walking up and slapping a man, and he ate the slap, and then yelling like a female from the audience. Big Willie style. Man, you should be disgusted.
Will Smith didn't have all those things happening, like the news and everybody in his business, until Jada kept talking with him. So I'm thinking he has enough. He has enough of the bullshit, because as a man, nobody cares about you. As a man, nobody gives a fuck about you. As a man, bro, look, they say entanglement. All the women. Now everybody want to be in an entanglement.
Will Smith goes wrong. The lights go on the stage and punch my Chris Rock in the face. Unnecessary. A lot of niggas are saying why Chris Rock didn't fight back. Hold the fuck up, okay? Will Smith played very tough role in every movie. He was Ali. Ali's a boxer. He played King Richard. He was a tough man, father. He played I Am Legend, Hancock, Independence Day. Everything. He was a superhero. Kick niggas' ass, okay? Chris Rock, on the other hand, had comedic roles. The nigga was MC Gusto in CB4. He was also Pookie in The Crackhead in New Jack City. And he also was a nigga that played in Pootie Tang. And then, last but not least, he asked for one rib in the movie I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. So he's not built for that. Fuck that. You nigga fuck with me on stage, I'm telling you right now, I'm calling the cops, you're going to jail, my nigga, okay? And don't get it wrong, I'm undefeated at night. You come on my stage, I'm gonna turn the lights off, I'm gonna fuck you up, and you won't see it coming. Rap!
Will Smith actually used to live behind my house. I've had the pleasure of knowing his son and his daughter very well, and we did Men in Black 3 with him. I believe whatever he felt that he did, he had the right to do. I also felt there were 3 losers in one fight. He didn't know, being Chris Rock. He didn't want to do what he had to do, being Will Smith. And she did nothing, being Jada. And it's a very sad thing, but there was a powerful moment for me to sit and watch one of the world's best emoters ever we've seen speak from the heart. And I would rather take the beauty out of the situation than take the pain. But I had to leave my chair, I'll be honest with you. It cut me really deep. And I don't get deep about these things, but I'm a big movie fan, I'll be honest with you. And out of a horrible moment, there was a little bit of beauty in what came on, and I'm sure everyone's very apologetic about what happened. Shouldn't have happened. But ask yourself, what would you do in the same situation?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And it was just a selfish moment that cast a pall over the whole thing.
No, I haven't seen him yet tonight. No.
Are you there for him? Because I know he may need you tonight. He may need you, especially if he looked nervous.
Was he well, good. He should be. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of emotions. This is a long time. Well, I think a long time coming for him, and it's a lot of emotion. It's probably all welling up in him right now.
I applaud Chris Rock for recovering, keeping the show moving. It was an incredibly dignified response. I'll say this, Will Smith can't take a joke. Chris Rock can take a punch.
Can I ask you about this? You did post about the incident that happened last night on your social media. Did you think it was staged when you posted that?
Sort of, kind of, but I never know.
Okay.
The Oscars tonight, a lot of big moments. Obviously, Will Smith, Chris Rock was a moment. Anything you guys want to say about that?
Muhammad Ali was a great movie.
I think there's something deeper sort of to be discussed, and I hope they both step up man to man and kind of figure it all out, which I'm sure they will.
What do you feel like? What's your reaction, and where should they go from here?
They should go home. They should go home and think about it. It was crazy, though. Shout out to Will.
Well, I think it was very unfortunate. I think part of doing stand-up and humor is you try to poke fun at everybody, and a lot of people were poked fun at, but that was very unfortunate because obviously it's something that she really, it was tough. And also, I think when they poke fun at you and you're one of the celebrities, it's a little different than if you're the wife of one. But I absolutely don't condone violence of any kind, so...
Historic night of winners.
Yes, historic night of winners. I wish it hadn't happened.
I was confused. I feel like everyone's confused right now, especially because we're watching at home, so it stopped. So I'm curious tomorrow to see.
Hey man, that slap was many years in the making right there. Will Smith, we got you, bro, for life. We got you. Shit was crazy.
Will Smith did tonight was straight bullshit. Props and congratulations to him for winning the Oscar, because damn it, he deserved it. And I love the brother and I'm proud of him, but boy, was that a shameful act for him to commit tonight. To go up on stage and slap Chris Rock like that, he's lucky he didn't get his ass kicked, particularly after the event was over. If not by Chris Rock, to the fellas he had there with him. I mean, damn. Denzel and Bradley Cooper and Tyler Perry having to calm you down. Your publicist having to run out and calm you down. I mean, damn, come on, bro. Come on, man. There's no excuse for it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't even try to justify it, okay?
Let me just say this.
As a comedian, come on, King.
I'm telling you right now, slap one of the kings.
Yeah.
We gonna have to immediately go to commercial break.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about every one of them. You sure ain't slapping St. Louis. You ain't slapping Chicago, the late great Bernie Mac. You damn sure ain't slapping Cleveland. So I don't know what you finna do, dog. And you ain't gonna slap Compton. So I'm trying to figure out. But Chris smaller. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could not believe he did it. Okay, here's the deal. First of all, I was a bit torn because I didn't see it actually because I'm out the country. So I saw just a piece of the tape. Then I watched what Chris said. Then I watched his acceptance speech, and I watched it all up. So I'm torn between.
Okay, Holly. So, as everybody can see, it's a breaking news alert.
Breaking news.
Yeah, some breaking news. So what? I mean, we're almost a week into, what went on at the Oscars. What has been, kind of the recourse that the Oscars has taken, or even Will Smith himself has taken, after all of this stuff has transpired?
Yeah, so I think the initial within a couple of days was him choosing to leave the Academy. So he resigning, he'll no longer be a part of that, as well as, him and Jada, I guess, choosing to have this discussion on the Red Table Talk. And they have since released some statement just saying, they both don't agree with Will's actions. And that wasn't the best way to handle that situation. But further, I think it's impacting Will's career in the immediate. A few of his films have been put on hold. Like one with Sony, one with Netflix. I was also reading somewhere that Bad Boys 4, they were doing like script reading that got put on hold. As this plays out, I know there have been discussions around him possibly going to rehab to deal with his issues. But I think it's kind of hard to when something happens and celebrities go to rehab, you're like, is this a PR move or, is this, authentic? So we'll see. But on the other side, Chris Rock, I mean, his ticket prices for his shows and his comedy tour have gone up immensely. So, I think
So it's working out for Chris in the monetary realm.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm going to his comedy show next week. And the tickets, even to sit like in the sky, basically just to see him, those tickets were originally like $150, $160, and now it was like pushing $250, $300 within 2 days after. So I got tickets, but yeah, I had to pay a hefty price just to go sit in the sky. But hey, but I think everyone wants to see what Chris has to say.
If he says something.
Yeah. And there has been a video floating around about Chris being like, how was your weekend? Like right after the Oscars.
Yeah, I saw that video.
So I think, everybody is kind of like Team Chris in a lot of ways and going to support his shows. And so we'll see. Yeah. So I think things are still playing out for Will, but not in the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're hopeful that he gets whatever help that he needs, but you know how I feel about it. I just, there is nothing that warranted him doing that on such a public platform. Like, I'm not opposed to you doing, handling your business if you feel whatever reason that you need to handle your business. If that's on you and whatever, whoever you have to deal with from the point on. But to do it out there in the open like that for the world to see, and just, I feel so bad for Chris. Like my pain is for Chris, not Will. Like, Will, you got money and doctors and whoever, you'll get the best treatment available. But Chris can never live that down. Like, his sales can go up immensely and he can profit from this, but to be slapped, like, I couldn't even imagine it, because I just know that for me to be slapped, like, I think one time I got slapped by a girl and I think I almost lost it. I almost lost it. I was like, I had to fight the urge because you like, that is such an intentional thing. And when you slap somebody in the face, your reaction is just like, it's either going to be one of two things. You're going to be highly emotional and cry,
Right.
or you're going to get stark raving mad, and just try to, you know what I'm saying? So I applaud Chris for holding it together in that moment.
Yeah. Like in the comments, like people saying
Yeah.
he was so professional. Like he really was. Like, man, good for him.
I think if anybody needs to be checked on, it's him. It's if anybody needs to be
Yeah.
approached by Tyler Perry and Denzel, it would have been Chris Rock. They should have been saying, "Listen, brother, you know you handled yourself with all type of professionalism and respect and honor. I'm so sorry that happened to you, man. Like you was totally wrong." But instead, y'all went to the person that actually initiated the slap and kind of helped him play victim. And so that's
I agree.
So
I hope like those people like Denzel and them did after the fact, like maybe we don't know, but sent him, called him and said some things to him after the fact. So behind the scenes, the stuff we don't get to see. So I hope that happened for him.
Yeah. We hope you get the help you need.
Yes.
Will and Chris, please talk to somebody, man. It's okay, man. I know you're probably going through it. I know you're on tour trying to keep your mind off it. But everywhere you go, somebody's gonna be playing that video or asking you questions about it, and it's just never gonna stop. So, but kudos to you either way, brother. But in other news, we had a movie drop. We had a movie drop. Morbius, the living vampire, drop. Did you get a chance to see it yet, Holly?
I did. I saw it Thursday night. When I guess it drops Friday officially, but yeah, I saw it the Thursday before the official drop on Friday.
So you got a chance to see it already.
I did.
Oh, so without spoiling too much, even though we have to let you know something might get spoiled. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, this is where you should part ways. Because we might let something slip. Over here at the MulTYversed, we probably gonna let some stuff slip. So Holly,
yes.
What'd you think?
Okay. I liked it, but I think there's room for improvement in a lot of ways. I really believe that the movie has a good foundation, but I just because it comes from like that Sony, like in that area where the buyout and all that kind of stuff with Disney and Marvel, I kind of just feel like it doesn't get it's just when it comes to like story development and the promotion that they put into the other movies. And so I think because it kind of has to fit in somewhere into like, with the after credits and kind of like how I feel about Venom. I don't think like those movies are bad. I just think they could be better. And kind of like in the comments, like I think the storyline could have been better. I think there was more there that could have drawn interest as to the character Morbius. I think it was so fast, like the movie just moved so fast. I think there was just things left out. Like you had to catch it really quick if you weren't paying attention. Like, and then I just was like, his arch nemesis was just a very interesting. I didn't expect it to go that way, and when it went that way, I think that's where I'm like, I can see why people were kind of like.
I was actually, I was totally opposite. I absolutely knew it was going to go that way. Anytime
I figured it was like they foreshadowed it, but
anytime I've watched from just my experience watching movies, anytime someone says something to the degree of I'll be there for you even till we die.
Yeah.
Like soon as they say something like that, I'm like, that's gonna be the person to stab you in the back. That's gonna be the person that you wind up having beef with. that's typically how that works. But as an overall movie, let me just say that first, because I don't want to. I could talk about it from a comic book standpoint, but I'm
Yeah.
just going to talk about it from a pure entertainment standpoint. Um, I did not like the movie. I didn't think it was what I would have liked it to be. I would have liked it to be a little longer. I would have liked it to delve a little bit. I think that whole 25 years earlier, like that's a long time to
Yeah.
delve back. Like anytime you're flashing back, oh, we're gonna flash back 25 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they
It's
did.
like-
I felt like don't do that unless you're going to give it that Eternals energy. Meaning, like if you're going to make, like if you're really going to go back that far, like you need to give it, more of the story. Because like then it was like you said, it went so quick. Then you're like, wait, he's winning the Nobel Peace Prize for artificial blood, and you're like, what happened in all that time?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and to Eternals credit, the Eternals were actually time travelers. So
Right.
so it's different, when
Yeah.
you're flashing back. This was just his life. And I'm
Right.
like, so you picked 25 years earlier in his life to go and talk about. I was just like, that whole scene could have probably been omitted, and you could have probably taken a moment to have the conversation with whoever, and we just talk about that and we just go on with the movie. I, from a visual standpoint, I did like a lot of the visuals.
Yeah.
I did like from the first scene to the last scene, they were using that Matrix kind of thing that I've always
Yeah.
liked, where you slow
Mhm.
the camera,
like
that you
that.
give me the slow motion so I get to see exactly what's happening. I love those type of things in movies. Like anytime
Me
I
too.
see that and you give me that slow so I can see the detail and everything, you could see everything in that moment. So I was really keyed in on the visuals. The CGI, I think I'm not a huge fan of CGI, but I know
Mhm.
you need it to do
Yeah.
some certain fantastical things. But with this, you remember X-Men when I don't remember
Which one?
maybe it was maybe it was United.
So
Was
the
that
newer
the one?
ones?
Was that the one? No, the older one.
Okay.
So was that the one with uh Nightcrawler?
Oh
What was
yeah,
that?
I remember that. Nightcrawler, where that was the very first one, and
That was
Nightcrawler.
the very
Oh,
first one. No, that was the
he
second one, right?
second one. Yeah, he was in there, but I know what you're talking about. Where he tries to grab them and like move them from
Yes.
like different spaces, and it
So the
poof
way he
poof.
disappeared
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I kind of got that same type of energy when I was watching this, from
Yeah, I
that,
could
like
see
from
that.
his little moves from around the room and whatnot. So for me, I did enjoy certain things, but it was just he pulls up.
Yeah, he's in the comments trolling us.
Everybody, welcome, Minnie Grogu.
Hey,
Minnie, turn your camera, bro. Turn your camera.
I'm
You
trying
know,
to
you
tell.
already
I'm
know
just
what
trying.
it
Hold
is.
on. Let me
You
turn
know
it.
what
Let
it
me turn it.
is.
Let
You've
me
been
turn
hit. You know what I'm
it.
saying?
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, make it. All right, there we go. There we go. Thank you for joining us, brother. It's so good to see you.
Can you see me, man? I got the light all
I
messed
mean,
up.
we can always see you, man. You could probably deal with a little bit of light, a little more light. But all right, you good.
I was moving. It went to my damn what's that called? My trash, bro. My Gmail doesn't believe that we're friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Gmail, we need to have a talk.
It went straight to my trash. I'm like, no, I didn't receive the damn thing. When I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's in my trash. What the hell going on?
Oh wow. That's what we doing now. We in the trash.
We have to fix that. We have to fix that.
You don't have to fix
Y'all
that
already,
for certain.
y'all started talking about Morbius, huh?
We have just started talking about Morbius. And I'm glad you came through to offer your opinion. So far, Holly has not liked it. I have also not liked it. So I'm anxious to hear what you thought was so trash about this movie. Because I was watching it after hearing your opinion on it, and I was just like, I don't see what's wrong. So let everybody hear what it was that you did not like about the movie.
I will say this: this movie made me appreciate the Batman movie a whole lot more. Okay, I promise you that I can watch the Batman anytime now. That is a great movie next to this one. Why did I not like? Okay, first of all, the whole thing when it did, they teased a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the actual movie. They actually took stuff out. Like if you remember in the teaser trailers, you had stuff with Spider-Man in the background, spray painting on the wall, Spider-Man murderer, and all this stuff, kind of teasing that it was going to be in the same universe as Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And they took all that stuff out. But they took all that stuff out just to have in the end credits somebody from Tom Holland's universe anyway. So that made no sense to me whatsoever. And the storyline could have been a whole lot better. I thought visually it wasn't as great as it could have been. I thought it was too dark visually. It was weird because the Batman movie was dark visually, but I appreciated the darkness in that movie way more than I did on this one. Like I wish I could have saw more of like when he went on and scratched somebody's throat. I wish I could have saw some blood come out, even though it's PG-13. I think that's what messed it up more than anything. I didn't like that. I didn't like there was no blood, even though he's a vampire. There's barely any blood in the movie at all. I didn't like the way that he switched it to like he made this new blood. It's like blue blood. So he's drinking blue blood and you know
his artificial blood. It's artificial blood.
Yeah, the artificial blood that was not for me either. I was like, that didn't need to be there. You could have just kept it as what it was. The villain, it was like two dudes arguing about who wants to be a vampire, the other one doesn't want to be a vampire, and why. It wasn't really a villain. It was more of a like, hey, why can't you be a vampire and I can't type of thing. You know, like he didn't really have a villain plan. You know what I'm saying? Like usually, like you know, to like take over or do something big. This guy, he really have a plan. He just didn't want to stop being a vampire. Like that's he was like, bro, you ain't gonna
he didn't want to stop being a vampire, or he just didn't. He didn't want to go back to having to be on the dialysis machine or whatever that was. Like I think I didn't look at it. He didn't want to be a vampire. I just looked like he didn't want to go back to like dying in essence.
Which I get, but that's like a horrible villain. Like that's like, okay, I mean, what kind of villain is that? I mean, first of all, Morbius, you an asshole for trying to take it away. You know what I'm saying? Like you trying to put his back on the dialysis? What's wrong with you, Morbius? Let your mans be great. You know what I mean? He gonna kill a couple folks. It's all right. It's all right. People need to die anyway. I'm just playing. But no, for real, like there was no plan. Like I like my villains with some type. Even when Keith Ledger had no plan, there was still a plan to the no plan. You see what I'm saying? This guy literally was like, my whole thing in the movie is I don't want to go back to on dialysis and go back to being a cripple. So I'm gonna be the bad guy in this movie. So it was just kind of like there was so much more they could have grabbed from, because Morbius, even though he was a side character to begin with and all that, there's a lot of stuff in his lore and a lot of things you can grab from. They didn't have to just grab the simplest storyline, and they even made it more simple by shorting it down. The original version of this movie was 45 minutes longer. So they cut down the movie. So that's why when you were saying, oh, I wish it was longer, it was. And the story got convoluted in the way they shortened the story. A lot of cut scenes, you could tell that there was more to some scenes, and you're like, oh, yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, this what? So it's like, man, I just think they had a great opportunity to do something awesome and something different for Marvel and messed it up. That really is. It boils down to it.
I always feel when it's these movies, like when it's like a Sony distributed movie, it just doesn't get the same attention if it's like the Marvel Disney budget. Like it just doesn't. And I think it's because from that like buyout and the just kind of they take them and then it's just like, yeah, we got to deal with you. But I don't know. I always just feel like those movies just never.
You're 100% correct with that. You are
Okay, sorry,
100%
Ty.
correct with that.
No. So I would have to agree with you on that, Minnie, and also Holly. When it comes down to it, it just looks as though Sony does not have a care if it doesn't have to do, if it's not Spider-Man, and I'm not even gonna say have to do with Spider-Man. If it's not Spider-Man,
right?
Then like we're not going to invest the same type of time, energy, any of that. But I think what's gonna wind up happening is if you continue to put out this kind of trash consistency, and not that Morbius was trash, but if you keep putting out this content that is half-assed,
Right.
Yeah. At some point, you may lose Spider-Man because Tom Holland at some point will move on, and you will have to find another replacement that may not transition the same way that Tom Holland has transitioned. Because with Tom Holland, you were able to ring in a whole new demographic that you weren't able to reel in with the Amazing Spider-Man and all of that. So you now have this demographic, and you have this ability to hold on to them. You need to make sure that you kind of exploit this opportunity better than what you're doing, and they're not taking any advantage of that.
No.
But that brings me to another guy, because you weren't the only individual that had a review. I know you noticed that someone's not here with us today, but he was kind enough to still lend us his review. And I'd like everybody to take an opportunity and take a moment to listen to one Tyrone Thornhill as he reviews the Morbius movie.
What's up, y'all? Sorry I couldn't be there with you this week, but I did want to leave you my review for Morbius. Overall, not good. Acting was just okay. The action was just scratchy. There was just basically all it was scratching. Very little blood for a vampire movie. I was hoping that it would be a little bit scarier, maybe some fear, maybe some a little bit of jump or something like that, but we got none of that. We didn't get any kind of compelling story. It was just there. And I think that's kind of Sony's plan, is to just be there. So they'll be collecting that Spider-Man money as long as they can. It's a shame. I think the best thing about this movie for me was that it was short. The runtime was 1 hour and 44 minutes, which is pretty relatively short especially for comic book movies this day. And it was the best thing about this movie for me. The end credit scenes, without spoilers, were just random, and honestly kind of had me a little bit afraid for what Sony might try to do to the MCU and to Spider-Man and Spider-Man's live action universe. Sony, just please stick to the animated stuff. Y'all killed it with Into the Spider-Verse, and hopefully, the second Into the Spider-Verse movie. And let's just leave the live action stuff to the MCU. It would really, really be great. Anyway, overall, I give Morbius a 2 out of 10. It was a movie technically, and it was short. So that's the best thing I have to say about it. Sorry I didn't like it. I really wanted to like this. Anytime I go to a comic book movie, all I want to do is have fun. That's the biggest thing for me. And this one couldn't even accomplish that. So anyway, on to the next one.
Well, thank you, Tyrone Thornhill, for that very
that was bad.
very loving review you gave for Morbius. Okay. So apparently Tyrone hated it, to go along with you, Minnie. But one of the things that I noticed, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but did it seem as though that this was a horror movie that was afraid to be a horror movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was like, I was waiting for Blade to pop out and kind of just like give it some help, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, we really need some
perfect opportunity.
Yeah, but like, is Blade gonna pop up in here and like, let's kick it up a notch?
Yeah, I think Marvel Studios is like, yeah, we'll share as long as it doesn't mean we have to let you play with our shit.
Yeah.
Like I think Marvel Studios was like, no, like they probably were like, yo, this would be a perfect opportunity to bring out Blade. It was like, no.
No. We'll keep it here for a little bit.
You guys can have Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give you Vulture, but no Blade. No Blade, sir.
I think I'll tell you what I'm excited for. I think, well, by the way, Tyrone's hair is the best hair in the business. Let's start off with that. That man had the full-on pompadour in the front. I don't know if you know what that is. He was the real Elder Beige today.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
Beige Brothers Unite. But anyway,
Brothers Unite. That's right.
But honestly, no, for real. Like it was a scary movie. Who was afraid to be scary. That's one of the things that kind of threw me off, and it kind of turned me off on it, because you were looking forward to that. This is Morbius. It's a vampire movie. Yes, it's a Marvel movie, but it's a vampire movie. Like, you have to stick to the roots. Give us some scare. Give us some jumping. Give us something. And they gave us nothing. But I am excited. I will say this. I am excited about what they're going to do. Tyrone said he's afraid of what they're going to do. I'm excited because I think what they're going to do is, since the whole multiverse thing, I think they're going to create a whole nother side for Spider-Man and bring on Andrew Garfield back and have them in a whole nother universe. You know what I'm saying? Have the Condor and have Morbius in that universe. And that might be dope. That might be dope, because Andrew Garfield is pretty good Spider-Man, and we'll see what he can do if he gets another chance. So that might be something to look forward to. But if this was a setup movie, it did not do its job right.
And I can agree with that. I think if this is like, that's why I said I think it could have been a better origin movie, and it just, So I don't think it was like a 2, but I'll probably say honestly like 5.5 out of 10. I think there was just like, it's like, I don't think it was trash. I just think I watched it and I was like, man, they could have just done so much more with like what they had to work with. I think they just had really the good start of something, and then it's just like, man, like they have a good, like the girl, the doctor girl. It's like, I feel like she's a good leading lady. Like that could have went somewhere. She's pretty, and then you saw the end, like she turned. It's like, come on, like this could have. I don't know. But I don't like I didn't like Tyrese in the movie. I just kind of like, Thank you,
Holly, because I was just going to get to the. I was just listen. Terrible. These two, the bad cop, good cop, bad cop. I was like, you guys are terrible. Like,
I'm like, were they supposed to be comedic relief? Because it was not giving that.
Bad. It was so bad. These guys were so bad. Tyrese as a serious role. Stop. Just stop, bro. Stop. That was the worst, man. Stick to the Fast and the Furious, trying to be little, like stick to that, bro. Because it did not oh my gosh, it didn't translate well at all.
Well, what more do you want from me?
Yeah.
What more do you want from me?
Yes. Thank you, Lisa. It is Tyrese. And we wish that Tyrese would realize that it's Tyrese. And stop trying to pull off stuff. It was just bad all the way around, just really, really bad. So those two clearly were one that I can agree with Tyrone, were just bad all the way around. This guy, which you guys, Mr. Matt Smith, which if Vince was on here, he would go crazy, because I believe Matt Smith plays on a show that he watches called Doctor Who. It plays. I don't know what he plays on there, but I do know he came off of that show, so he was on that show. So, but you guys didn't like him as a villain.
I didn't like the reason why he was a villain. Like the whole. If they would have gave him a better reason to be a villain, or a better plan thing, he might have knocked it out the park. But they didn't give him much to work with, so I can't even blame the man too much. It just seemed like he tried as hard as he could with what he got, and it still didn't do much.
But Minnie, wasn't he a villain already though? the thing about it was he was already involved in some crooked stuff. Remember, he hired the mercenaries to the, and furthermore, where the hell did he get money? That's another thing. Like,
yeah, that's what I wish. I think that's what I wish they would have
did he come from money?
They never explained it.
Exactly. So
like
he just
mafia
winds up with
ties and
all this
stuff.
bread. He's like, I can finance. Yo, you know, Michael's coming to him like, yo, I need this. And he's like, oh, you got it. Whatever you need, I got you. I'll put you there. Like that's not just regular money. Like I can't go to one of my homies and tell him, look, I need to get out of the country. I need to, yeah. And they'd be like, yo, I got you. They're gonna be like, look, bro,
with the transport
look,
shit.
The way my account is set up, I might could get you here from here to maybe Jersey.
With a bus pass.
I can't get you to the Cayman Islands. I'm sorry. It's not working out like that. So yeah, so when you see him go over to his guy and he's like, yeah, I'll put you on this thing and I'll do this and I got all this set up. And then he finds the worst guys. You don't even find good mercenaries with some type of code. They about to go there. My man just goes in there like, look, you hired help too. I move how I want to move. Like, I do what I want to do, how I want to do it. You know, so there was a lot of stuff. You're right, Manny. You're right, where they just did not off back page.
I didn't show that one.
I had to laugh. I'm sorry. That's funny.
That makes sense. That makes sense, man. There's a fetish going around.
Everyone has a niche for their business.
Everybody has a little niche that somewhere you can fit in. So you guys did not like him as a villain. You, Minnie, said you don't like him as a villain because of why he was a villain, which I don't understand why you wouldn't like him for that reason. Because if you or I had an opportunity to live as opposed to dying, which we know is inevitably going to happen, plus we've lived this entire life this way. I've lived this life where people always looked it down at me, even though I was rich as a motherfucker. I was rich. Nobody knew that. They just looked at me and was like, there's the cripple and stuff like that and pointed fingers. No, that's not, no. And look, and to anybody who is handicapped out there, I'm not
disabled. Yes.
Yeah, no. No, what I'm saying is the way that they were labeling him in the movie was
right.
Yeah.
So
no, you're right.
I'm not labeling it. I just want to make that clear that I support the handicapped and disabled people. All right, so don't come for me.
Don't go get canceled
or your wheelchairs or that. None of that. But just look, that was light. That was light. Okay.
Yeah. Well, tell that to Chris Rock.
Don't slap me. Don't slap me. You know. Ow, shit.
No, but so you're right though. I maybe if the serum would have made him 6'5", then I would have felt more pity for him. Because I ain't trying to go back to being short, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to go back to being short, you feel me? You know what I mean? Once I get that serum in my body, I'm trying to stay up there. You know what I mean? So I get it. It was like a selfish villainry thing. It wasn't, I like my villains with a sense of I want to ruin the whole world. Not a sense of I'm just trying to keep myself safe. The only villain that got me with that kind of feeling was Killmonger. But even then, Killmonger had a bigger plan for the whole
purpose.
World. Yeah, exactly. It was a purpose to it. It was selfish, but it was a purpose to his selfishness. You know what I'm saying? This guy just wanted for him. That's it. He didn't care about nobody else. He wasn't trying to help the world or help people like him. It wasn't like, oh, I want to be this vampire so I can help everybody who's also crippled and bite them. And now we're all vampires. And now we're going to run. He didn't have that plan. It was just like, bro, I don't want to go back. I'm not trying to help nobody, but I don't want to go back.
I think he was a villain from day one, man. That's all I'm saying is like they say, when money reveals who you truly were in the first place. I think the same thing happens with this guy. This guy already was up to some no good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when it came down to it, and he had an opportunity to live and to live healthy, like you remember the first thing he said when he saw Michael, oh snap, you're strong. You're like, he was like, you're healed. Give me some. Look, he didn't even waste no time. He was like, "You're healed. Give me some. You shouldn't be the only one that gets to be healed." We said we was gonna come up together. We was going. I ain't never told you no. He started making them. He started pulling out receipts. Yo, remember that time you needed that research lab?
That's that messed up friend.
Or did I cut the check? He started like, yo, he really was like, look,
holding stuff over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we mad at that?
No, you're right.
I feel like I would have been a villain real quick.
Well, now, I think it's just like he was clearly tapped into circles that indicated that he had been already bad guy, but behind the scenes. And then I think now that he's got this added superpower, it's like now he's at the forefront. But I think anybody who's just thinking of story development is like, all right, clearly he already had a taste for power, influence, and then you give him this like monster power, and then it just feeds into his ego even more. I think I'm more just like, where did you get this money, mercenaries? Like what's the deal? You're living in a penthouse in New York, like, or wherever he's at. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, where, how? Because it's not like he's just like some guy who's like a couple million. Like he's wealthy if you're bankrolling scientific research.
But wasn't this an orphanage? Am I wrong to think that this wasn't an orphanage for disabled children?
Orphanage?
It wasn't an orphanage for poor kids, I tell you that.
Well, I mean, it wasn't.
I think it was, it was a place like some type of treatment center / orphanage for children with special needs.
Because remember the doctor said to Michael, "You're very talented, and I would hate to not, allow this talent to be utilized." And so basically he said, "I'm gonna sit." He didn't say, "I gotta call your parents and see if we can." He didn't say, "I gotta talk to some people." He said, "I'm gonna send you to this school that can help you for the gifted." So that's why I'm like, you had
Was that the reference to the X-Men though? Because he said the school in New York for kids with gifted needs. I really thought that was a reference to X-Men. Maybe
it could have been.
I wasn't sure either, because it is in New York, the Xavier School for the Gifted.
Exactly.
Well, we could, if we're doing our conspiracy theories as we usually do here at MulTYversed, then we could somehow associate that with X-Men. However, at the time, Michael Morbius was just a regular human being with no powers. So the school of Xavier is for gifted mutants.
Right. That's right.
So I don't necessarily think that was the case, but
we don't know if he went or not. That's what he said. Maybe the doctor thought it was gifted in that sense, but then clearly they're like, yeah, he's not accepted. He's not that kind of gifted that we're looking.
That's a possibility too. That could have been something that they took out in the 44 minutes that many alluded to that they took away. But I really thought that you guys just didn't like him as a villain because he reminded you of another villain. And I don't know if you guys made this association, but Lost Boys. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you don't remember him, there's his face. One Kiefer Sutherland in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Lost Boys. There, I went and I watched when I was fresh. I just told you that, Holly. I was fresh off of seeing Morbius. I saw it maybe an hour before the show started. So I got to see it fresh. And one of the things that I noticed when they kept spotlighting the face of this villain, or this, this individual that Matt Smith played. I don't even remember his name. Lucian or Milo. So when they started spotlighting his face and doing those little close-ups with the CGI, it just gave me the Lost Boys vibes. I was like, dang, this Lost Boys is old. I think that movie came out in the 80s or the 90s. Yeah, right, Lisa. One of my favorites. And that, like, you mean to tell me that with all of the developments and the movements in technology, we still don't know how to get a proper vampire face? Now listen, don't get me wrong. Morbius's face was dope. Like when he went full vampire, I was like, yo, now that when you're thinking about the comic book version of him, that looks a lot like the comic book version of him. You know what I'm saying? Like they did a lot of stuff, even down to the end, towards the end of the movie, Minnie, and you can kind of talk about this a little bit, when he flew and then they gave him the purple, but they gave him the purple kind of like smoke at the end when he finally turned into Morbius. Before that, they didn't give him the purple smoke. He had to like the other stuff. So you know what I mean? Like that, I thought that was kind of key.
Right, it was dope. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That they had all the key elements to a good movie and just fumbled it somehow. Also, Lost Boys was a whole lot more scarier than this. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Whole lot more scarier. I mean, I don't know. Like you were saying beforehand, if Sony keeps doing this, Marvel's gonna have a problem with having two kind of tiers of movies when it comes to people representing them. Because at the end of the day, you represent the Marvel name, so they don't want to have people already be like, oh, it's a Marvel movie. Well, wait, hold on, who made it? Is it a Sony movie or is it MCU? They're not gonna want that disparity.
Facts.
So sooner or later, they got to step up, or Disney might be like, "Hey, we need all that stuff back. We'll give you $1 billion. Just leave our shit alone. You know, just go away."
It's probably in the works. It's probably in the works. We just
you keep messing us up, bro. Every time we put a good movie out, you put a shitty one. We put a good movie out, you put a shitty one. It's like, damn it.
You're on to something, Minnie, and I'm glad you said that, because it brings me to the last point that I want to make about this. Even though I wanted to bring up this part because you notice this in the movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like in whatever universe they're in, they have murdered or murderer. I don't know if it's supposed to be murderer or they didn't know how to spell, or murdered.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know if that's you know what I mean, because that's key if it says murderer as opposed to murdered. So you know, but what I wanted to talk about real quick, and then we'll jump on into this last subject, is what does this Morbius movie mean moving forward for Blade? Because Blade hunts vampires, and as long as Morbius stays on the good side of things, he might be safe. But if what we saw at the end of the movie points to anything, you know, familiar, then he might not be staying good for long. Anybody want to chime in on that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said beforehand, it all depends on what universe they're gonna put him in. If they're gonna, when I saw the murderer thing, the first thing that I thought was Tom Holland, right? Because he was the one who was accused of murdering Mysterio. So if they're gonna put him in that universe, then that will be great, because all I want out of this is the Midnight Suns. I don't care about nothing else. All I want out of this is the Midnight Suns. You bring me the Midnight Suns from this, and I'm happy. You know, but if they put them in another universe, like I said, with Tom, well, not Tom Holland, but with Andrew Garfield, I don't know if they can do the Midnight Suns, because then they have to put Moon Knight in that universe as well. They got to put Blade in that universe as well. They got to put the new what's it called, dude that rides a motorcycle with a fire in his head,
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. They got to put them in that universe as well. And I don't think they want to put all of them in the universe that Andrew Garfield is in, when Andrew Garfield is not going to be the Spider-Man moving forward.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't think at any point they tie in these two together, Blade and Morbius? There's no crossovers. There's no because remember, in the last Venom movie, and the last Spider-Man movie, it looks like they're trying to cross over. They're trying to cross over that universe into Tom Holland's universe.
For sure. And they're going to, but my thing is, I think they're going to cross over. I just don't know who Spider-Man is going to be the Spider-Man for that universe. They could even go crazy and cross over and make them the villains for Miles. Okay? We still ain't got Miles Morales. So you can make Venom, Condor, and Morbius the first villains that Miles has to face. So it's like, I don't think that, I'm not saying that it's not going to cross over. I just don't know who the Spider-Man is going to be for them.
Okay.
I'm not sold that it's going to be Tom Holland completely.
What about you, Holly? You think that at any point we will see Blade and Morbius do a crossover, maybe?
Maybe, or like a collab, in the sense of, I feel like since Morbius is the doctor and the artificial blood and all that, and trying to sustain, not feeding on people. And I know Blade, that's always his thing, is like, how does he sustain from not having to, I feel like that is probably, I think, how they might make the connection, is that Blade is going to need Morbius's intelligence and the way he comes up with things, so they can both sustain without having to feed off other people. I feel like that's how it might come together.
So what you're saying is Blade and Morbius are about to become drinking buddies.
Basically,
that's what I heard. I don't know.
In some form or fashion, I don't know how it will play out, but just knowing, like, just playing off the old Blade movies and how, like, Whistler was always trying to help Blade, like, sustain his thirst. And that's the struggle that Morbius was going through. I can just see them, like, at first being enemies and then realizing they have, like, a common in mind of, like, oh, you're thirsty, me too, but I got you. Like, we're gonna figure this out. Oh no, that's my thought.
Well, cool. That's all the time we're gonna spend on Morbius today. Listen, we'll probably talk some more about it on the New Blurred Order on Saturday at 10 a.m. Tune in and hear. We'll probably have Minnie on again, so you can hear him hate on the movie some more. But yeah, tune in Saturday, 10 a.m. right here on Facebook and YouTube. We got one more thing to talk about, then we'll get on up out of here. I'm gonna play this video real quick, just in case you haven't seen it.
Is this an April Fool's? I'm shaking. That's how it looks. You and I, along with some other amazing people, made magic. And I don't ever want us to lose that magic again. Well, let me tell you, sometimes in life, you get caught up. You know, when you come from nothing, you get blinded by some shit. And it took me a long time to realize. I am so sorry for hurting you in any way that I did. Y'all, she was my best friend. My best friend. Y'all think that Precious was just, that was God working through both of us. And we're gonna fucking do it again. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is beautiful, man.
That is beautiful, man.
So let's kind of go over this really quick and give a little bit of a backstory, Holly. Lee Daniels and Monique were a part of a movie called Precious.
Correct.
And for whoever out there who hasn't seen this movie, I would say go see it. It was a really, really, really good movie. It speaks to a lot of things that happen in Black culture that still happen and affect young women and things of that nature. So yeah, I would definitely go check that out. But she what did she win? Best Supporting Actress.
Correct. Yeah.
Wasn't
So
that-
Monique won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress. And on a night where this moment should have been the best moment of her life, it kind of followed what Hollywood calls blackballing, where she no longer is on any major cinematic or syndicated programming and stuff like that. And she came out and stop me whenever I'm wrong, but she came out and kind of told the world about what had happened to her. And some people attacked her, said she was lying, questioned her integrity, said she was crazy and all of these other different things. And where we're at now is Lee Daniels formally apologizing on a public platform for all those years, I guess, of what, Ali, not being there for her, not having her back. What was it?
Yeah.
Exactly?
So let's think. Precious released in 2009. Okay. And then this aftermath happened within years, a few years after. So for over a decade, they were not talking, and Monique's career kind of hasn't been really at the forefront because of this situation between her and Lee Daniels, as well as Tyler Perry and Oprah, and her basically saying she's being blackballed by them because she was considered hard to work with. Monique doesn't come, but and basically because of Lee Daniels going around, spreading saying these things about her and creating this narrative that wasn't true. Because I guess what he's insinuating that he was blinded by Hollywood, I guess, for all these times. But Monique stood her ground. So I mean, her story didn't change. She had recordings. Every time, I mean, her story was consistent for a decade about this situation. And she has like video of Tyler Perry kind of like, he didn't apologize, but I think he did kind of acknowledge some of the things that went on in the conversations. And then Lee Daniels apologizing like formally in front of people, things that she's been wanting for a long time.
So this story is about holding firm to your truth and never wavering. And because a lot of times what happens is people fold under the pressure and the weight of trying to reach success and knowing that all these people hold the keys. And so a lot of times you see individuals, or maybe you don't see, but they do find themselves compromising themselves in order to move forward in their careers. And Monique was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I didn't do anything wrong. I know what I'm talking about. I know who I am. I'm standing strong on that belief. And here we are, 2022. It took her, when did you say the movie came out?
2009. Yeah.
2009. So here we are, 13 years later, practically, you know what I'm saying? And she finally gets the vindication.
Public apology, yeah.
And the vindication, because there were people out there that thought that this woman is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, yo, she's, like thinking all of this stuff and the conspiracy theorists and all, that was a lot of the rumblings going on behind closed doors. And it's really good to finally see her get what she deserved in the end. So to anybody out there, that's our advice to you. If ever you find yourself in this situation where you feel that you have to compromise yourself in order to get ahead, remember it's better to have your integrity, better to be able to sleep better at night. You don't want to do something. Yeah, you don't want to do something that you regret. What, Minnie? You got some things you regret, huh?
No, this man, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and not to get on my soapbox, but this makes me mad as hell. I'm gonna tell you why this made me mad as hell. I'm gonna give you 3 points. Number one, I can't stand the fact that we all about protect our black women, protect our black women, protect the black women, but we also the ones that would throw the black woman down the drain most of the time when it's convenient for us. So that's point number one. Point number two, Lee Daniels about 5 years short and $2 short, boy. You messed up this woman's career. You cost this woman millions of dollars. Apology needs to come with some ducats, with some dollars attached to that, because you cost me money. You cost me money, and you lied.
Yep.
Number three, not only did the whole thing with blackball happen, but his comments made her look bad to Netflix, and Netflix didn't want to do another special with her, and people were going crazy because she was demanding a certain type of money for a Netflix special, and he's one of the main people saying, "Oh, you ain't supposed to be demanding that type of money. You ain't that big of a comedian." She was an Oscar winner. Correct, what are you talking about? So they didn't give her the money, and not to say nothing about my boy Dave, because you know I love Dave above everybody else, but David came around and got $70 million per thing, what she was asking for. You see what I'm saying? So it's not that Netflix couldn't give her the money. It's that because of the words other people were saying, they refused to give her the money, and that made her look bad. So no, I don't like it. Like, I don't care how many times he apologized, bro. You was a real piece of shit for that. That was one of us that you threw on the ground, cost her money, potentially harm her career to a point of no return, and now you want to do a public little apology and a little party and give her a hug, talk about we're gonna work together now. All right, what about them 20 mil you just cost me the last 10 years?
No, I agree.
I'm not with it, bro. I'm not with that double. It's only, let's keep our black women safe when it's convenient to us. Let's keep our black women safe when you see somebody doing something good. Everybody had no problem with Will Smith slapping somebody over keeping a black woman safe. But we out here slandering motherfuckers up and down. It's just, I don't like it. If you're going to be that way all around. Yeah. If a black woman is wrong, I get when you don't, you know what I'm saying, step in and say something, because wrong is right is right. So I don't say protect the black woman, you know what I'm saying, be on her side if she wrong. If she wrong, we all wrong. You know what I'm saying? But if there's integrity in her words, if she's a woman of character, and if she's a woman that did nothing wrong to anyone, and you're going to be about that bullshit because you had a personal problem with her, now I want to hear it.
Well, as much as I want to agree with everything that you said, because I do mostly agree with everything you said, I think everybody, no one is above forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think if he genuinely, because he's saying, and she's kind of identifying as it being true when he said it,
right,
that their relationship far exceeds Hollywood. Like, we were close. Like, this was my dog, and I violated her, and I feel so bad about it. And you know what? I'm sorry, and please forgive me. And you know what I'm gonna do? We gonna tear this whole industry up. I'm gonna put you in everything now. Now, if he does that, because that's how he's talking. What we saw in that what we saw on that video was him saying, "Oh, we about to do it again. Oh, you want another Oscar? You get an Oscar. You get an Oscar. Right. You get a." That's what I'm saying. Like,
and that'll be fine.
Okay.
But I do agree it was a little late, though.
That's dollars involved. You're making up for the dollars that you cost me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if it's all wolf talk, and you just gonna say that because it looks cute in front of the camera, and now we kiki and we cool, and next thing you know, he pulls out 3 more movies and she ain't none of them. What's up, Lee Daniels? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, bro. Like, it might be just me personally, but I'm as the years go on and this world keeps turning into different crazy stuff. I'm just tired of us picking and choosing when we want to be pro-black and when we don't want to be pro-black. I'm tired of us picking and choosing when we want to help each other up and we don't want to help each other up, or who's black enough to help or who's not black enough to help. And that's a whole nother conversation. But it just leads me there. It leads me to a whole, as long as it's convenient for me and my career is not going to get messed up, then I'll vouch for you. But as soon as my career as soon as them folks, and you know what them folks I'm talking about, are willing not to pay me because I'm holding your hand, then I got to get away from you. Because I value what them folks believe about me more than what my own people believe about me. I am about that. Not at all.
All right. Many on his spitting facts today, y'all. He's on fire.
Yeah.
All right, man. So listen, yo, shout outs to Monique. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Queen. You
Facts,
deserve
facts. Well
everything you
deserved.
get from this point on.
Yes.
And I apologize for us men taking you for granted in the midst of you speaking your truth. So thank you, Queen, for continuing to stay steadfast and continue to stay blessed. Look, let's top this off, man. Let's top it off. Let me go ahead and get to this. So look, let's get on out of here. But before we go, let's talk about a couple of shows on television that people should be watching if they are not watching. I will start with none other than the one that Minnie wants to talk about so bad, and that is Moon Knight. Premieres every Wednesday on Disney Plus. It is a new episode out today, people. So go check that out. Fire, fire, fire. Minnie, is it fire? Is it all that you wanted and more?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You've heard it here, right here on the MulTYversed, right from the lips of Minnie Grogu himself. Also, out now. Season 2, guys, of Bridgerton is back. Don't act like you don't like Bridgerton. I actually got sucked into the Bridgerton, and now I can't get enough of this Bridgerton.
Yes.
It is a modern day soap opera, folks. This is what TV is all about. This type of stuff right here. Drama, betrayal, you name it, this show offers it. So Bridgerton 2 is out right now. Don't worry about that date up there. We can only find pictures sometimes, so it is what it is. But look, but it is out right now, currently streaming on Netflix. Also, Halo. I'm digging this series. We're I think 2 episodes in. And I'm really feeling this. This is a really good series, guys. Action packed. So far so good. Sticking to the video game side of it. Holly, if you have not checked out Halo, please put
I know. I need
to-do list.
I know. I need to steal someone's Paramount Plus account.
Say no more. Say no more. We got you.
I think I have one. I think I got someone. I just need to actually log in. But I got you.
All right. Well, we're gonna get your Fire Stick privileges upgraded.
No,
look,
I think I got you.
But look, last and not least, Top Boy.
Top Boy.
Check that one out.
Yes, if you have not checked out Top Boy on Netflix, this is another really good series. Takes place in England. I don't know where, but this is definitely a really good show. Really good cast of actors. Must watch TV. So that's all I got this week, guys. Any other shows you want to add to that list, Minnie or Holly?
I'll go over the stuff that you went over. Bridgerton, awesome, beautiful show, well written, very well written. Surprised how many black people won that time, but let's not talk about that. But it's a very well written show, very well written show. Top Boy reminds me of The Wire, just like an English version of it, but it's also very well written, very well acted in. Of course, y'all know I'm gonna love Moon Knight. Definitely, I don't want to give you any spoilers, but my God, they picked the right folks, didn't they? I don't think anybody other than Oscar Isaac could play that much of a confused man. You know what I'm saying? But he did a great job. Ethan Hawke is doing a great job. I'm very excited for it. I'm mad there's only 6 episodes, but yes, you picked great. Oh, and Halo. There's a couple things that are not like the video game, but I don't mind it because it's that good.
It is that good. It is that good. So Holly, please take note and go check out some of these shows. But if nothing else, Minnie, you got anything coming up you want to tell the people about?
May 28th, I'm doing the All-Star Comedy Jam with AJ White and Rob Stapleton. I've been watching AJ White since he was in Comic View when I was 11 years old. So this means a whole lot to me to be able to share the stage with somebody I've been looking up to all my life. So All-Star Comedy Jam is going to be at the Rosen Event Center in Orlando, May 28th. Tickets are in Eventbrite. Please fill the place up. I'm telling you, these folks have traveled the world. I'm just a squirrel in their world who's just trying to get a nut. Okay, but I'm gonna be out there doing my thing. So please go buy them tickets and check us out.
Yes, please go and support my man Minnie. He is out here doing it. I check his social media all the time, and he's always on top of his game. So please go support. Holly, anything you want to say on the way out?
Just check out my YouTube channel. So please understand. And again, check us out every Wednesday at 6:30 here on Facebook and YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, that's all I got.
All that good stuff. Yes. Thank you, Queen. All right, so listen, shout out to Tyrone Thornhill. Sorry you couldn't make it, but good luck tonight. He's got a show, got some stuff going on. So yeah. So big ups to my boy. Let me see. Big up to neighborhood finance guy for coming through, showing some love. Lisa always coming through, showing love. The comment section on fire, doing what y'all do best. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Also go check out a pod called TBD. That is one of my favorite shows right now. One of my favorite podcasts on Facebook and YouTube. Go check that out. Also, Hot Laughs and Music. Check them out. And you can check me and Tyrone Thornhill out this Saturday on New Blurred Order right here on Facebook and YouTube at 10 a.m. So tune in. But other than that, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Tune in next week right here at the MulTYverse, 6:30 sharp. Don't be late because we might be. But until then, be good. Oh, and real quick, I want to say this too, because we had somebody in the comment section, and I like to address things directly and make sure that I'm clear about things. We in no way here at the MulTYverse promote hatred. We don't promote hate. We're not here to divide anybody. We're not here. What we're here to do is uplift each other. We uplift our culture. We uplift our people. We uplift our women, our men, everybody doing excellent things. And sometimes we have discussions about those things. I'm sorry if there's any people out there that think that our comments or the things that we talk about is in some way divisive or in some way trying to be divisive. But I'm here to say, let me look in the camera, make sure you guys see my eyes. I'm here to say we in no way practice that. We in no way here to make anyone feel less than. We are here to uplift and always will do that. So just wanted to make that very clear. But other than that, thanks everybody for the support. Thanks everybody for the love. And until next week, we are the MulTYversed, and we are out of here.